John's gonna kick it off.
I'm gonna kick it off.
I'll kick it off. No, John will kick it off.
Okay. Am I or you?
No, it's
Because he's gonna do it in
Umai.
an isekai
Umai.
intro.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Back at Gamers Heaven.
That's right. We're back at Gamers Heaven for another episode of the spring anime. We watched another 3 new series here at Gamers Heaven. And guess what? 2 out of 3 was really bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, 3 out of 3.
But yeah, this is Team Umai back again with another episode of our updated title, the Anumai
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, new podcast name, Anumai. So, if you're confused, no need to worry. It's the same podcast, just a different name.
Same podcast, same 3 hosts. You know.
Same team Umai.
Same issues we run into with the
All
other
the time.
animes we watch.
Yeah.
Same isekai.
Oh.
Same.
Painful.
Never mind.
Painful. Let's just start it off.
yeah.
The first
There.
one we watched, My Home Hero, right?
Wait, we can't just jump into it,
What?
you know.
What do you
We have
mean?
to update everybody since we've been gone. You know, give a little recap. You know, just like animes do within the first 10 minutes, you know, we got to spend that recapping
like
what
30
happened last time.
seconds.
Yeah, but you know,
10-second episodes.
well, as Chris said, we're back again. We've got 3 new animes. They weren't exactly all the ones we wanted to watch because of some streaming limitations
Yeah,
we
High
ran into
Dive,
here.
if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not, you got to work on an app for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, some people want to watch.
Yeah, apparently it's not on all consoles.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
It's on Xbox, but
Yeah, Gamers
Technical
Heaven's
differences.
Xbox is out of commission currently. But yeah,
what are
but
you going to do?
yeah, we made some. Well, Chris, I should say, made some elective decisions on
Well,
what we
handpicked
watched.
I really had
Handpicked it.
no authority over that. All I did was pick between 1 and 2 and heads and tails.
You won
and-
both.
I mean, did I?
Yeah.
You won both.
Yeah, I think the universe is trying to punish me for something because it was not a win in my favor. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. But you know, I'd say the last ones we watched were definitely
better.
much
Much
better, much better. I've
Agreed.
also too, I've been continuing to watch Mashle and God in a Godless World.
Yeah, I'm not
Which God in a Godless World has definitely picked up a lot more than I thought it'd be. The weird CGI animation style is definitely, I think, a choice at this point because that does continue. But it adds to it. I think I definitely like it. I just watched episode 3, and I think it's becoming my top at least 3 for this season of anime. I really like it. The story's progressing very nicely, and there's some sci-fi elements that are coming into play, which I really love. So I definitely recommend that you two catch back up.
Yeah, I'll have to look at the other episodes because I was not sold after that first episode, and especially with the CGI.
But the animation was really good.
The fight scene.
Yeah,
The story, no stupid isekai stat screen showing.
Yeah,
up.
but I wasn't a huge fan of that story.
I feel like that was the highest rated one you gave it last episode.
No, I don't think so.
Aside from Mashle, I think it was the highest rated one you gave it.
I would have to look at the recording because I don't think I enjoyed
happens
it
a lot.
that much.
That happens.
I'm 90% sure that.
Well,
that was the-
even so, if I did rate it anything, it was probably like a 5
no,
or a 6.
no.
But regardless of that rating, doesn't mean I enjoyed it.
Interesting. Okay.
Beginning to see a
Because
pattern.
I account for the animation, the voice acting, story,
If there's how many swords are in
characters,
it.
and I feel like 3 out of 5.
If
I didn't
there's
like.
any romance, we know how keen you are on.
Oh yeah, romance fan service can it's an automatic deduction of 20 points.
Chris is a high class weeb, if you haven't noticed
I'm not even high class, I would say. I just prefer
by now. Elegance.
elegance. Yeah, you know, Spy Family
Elegance.
is pretty elegant. Um,
Just get a shirt.
I appreciate anime that has elements of fantasy or adventure, but also is still grounded in the real world, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, just like the cheat skill from the last one.
Yeah.
Stone throwing. That was his cheat skill, right?
No.
No.
The last episode we
That
did.
was something I didn't know. What was his cheat skill?
I
That
thought it
he-
was stone throwing. That's what it said.
When did it say that?
When he had opened his stat menu
Mhm.
and
level 1 was
level
stone
1
throwing.
cheat skill, stone throwing.
But he
Yeah.
doesn't throw a stone to
Yeah, he did.
kill the No, he throws
Well,
the
he
spear.
tried to.
Spear.
Yeah.
No, he threw a stone.
He threw the
He
stone,
threw
and
a
it
s-
landed 10 feet in front of him and just hit the
Yeah.
ground. He went, ugh. And then she came out.
Did we
then-
watch the same show?
How
No, were
is
you
that a cheat
sleeping?
skill? No. Well, I don't remember anything about that. But I remember him throwing the spear, and that's what made him level up and everything. So how's that a cheat
Okay,
skill?
pause, real quick. John, you're talking about last episode. We're talking about when he goes into the closet.
Yes.
He was really heavy, and then he became
Yes,
really
yes.
skinny. That anime,
That
not the one we just watched. That is the confusion he's making. He
What's
throws
the
the
one-
spear at the demon thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what we were
Yeah,
talking about.
that one.
This is
Which
gonna-
what I said was
gonna
what
be a little
like one of
confusing.
your favorites of the last
That's
episode.
not God in a godless world.
No, it's not. That was at the
No.
beginning. I said I really like the one. That's the one where they go to the world where there's no idea. The idea of religion is non-existent.
Yeah, that's the other show.
Yeah, that's the one I was saying at the beginning, and then I said you really liked the cheat skill one, but I said I didn't understand what his cheat skill was.
Okay. Yeah. I get the confusion now because
Yes.
directly in this show that we just watched,
Mhm.
they say the word cheat skill.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind went.
Yeah,
Um,
me and you were thinking the same thing. We're
yes,
like, he
so
did
that
throw a rock.
show-
What are you talking about?
That isekai, I forget what it's called. I got an OP power up in a fantasy world in the real world too. I think something along those lines.
It is a very long title. You are right about that. I have it right here. It's I got a cheat skill in another world and became unraveled in the real world.
Right.
too.
Yeah, I did enjoy the art style in that one. I thought the story was interesting. Okay, yes, I agree. It was one of the ones I liked the most out of the handful, but I'm still very disappointed with his character transformation.
Yes. But the one thing I didn't understand, because in that all isekais usually at some point they get to the title making the name of the title making appearance in the anime. What was his cheat skill?
I think the fact that I don't think it's even a skill. It's just the fact that he was.
Or have we not
He
seen his
inherit-
cheat skill yet?
We might not have seen it, but I think it's he inherited
Yeah.
the house and all his grandpa's stuff, and that's the cheat. I don't think it's a skill. I think he just got
Well, it would
all
be
those
more
things.
aptly named, a leg up in life or something.
What was the title?
I got a cheat skill in another world and became unraveled I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too.
I think when they say cheat skill, they're not talking about like a actual
Then
ability.
why not just name it I got a cheat code in life?
Here, let me call the freaking studio. And we can
I
ask.
know you should. But all right, well, moving on from that because who knows how.
Yeah, that was last episode's
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah, I
Let's-
was like, we're gonna keep
let's
talking
talk
about last
about
episode.
what we watched today. We cut down the amount of episodes we watched, so we can give extra love, tender, and care.
Do we want to though?
I
The
don't
3 we
think
just
so.
watched. I mean, I
But
think we-
yeah, so
sounds like it.
instead of 6, we watched 3. So the first one that we watched was My Home Hero, and I'm just gonna say right now, it was the best out of the 3.
Yeah.
So for a little synopsis, we have a father figure who is your average Joe dad who just really wants to take care of his family, his wife and daughter, and
Run of the mill businessman.
Yep, he's a businessman. What's his business?
They haven't diverged.
Not
here.
important.
Yeah.
So he's just a businessman, and he meets his daughter for lunch, I believe.
Yeah.
She's wearing a mask and sunglasses, and then it's revealed that she has bruises all over her face. Turns out her boyfriend has been beating her, and her dad is like, I gotta stop him. I gotta save my daughter.
Her wimpy dad.
Yeah, very wimpy.
Both in
Or
the.
is he?
That's what that. Let me just fix this. That's what I was thinking when we were watching it. I thought it was going to be, especially too from the poster of it too. I thought it was going to be like a John Wick or like.
Mr. Nobody. Did
Yeah,
you watch
Mr.
that movie?
Nobody.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of like Taken. Like
Yeah,
that's I
yeah.
thought it was gonna be.
all of those like older guy who has a history that has been shrouded
Yeah.
in shadow. Yeah, Mr. Nobody was just one of those, and then like because of this, it was gonna bring about some like his dark history. But no, he's a mundane guy through and through. There's
Average guy.
nothing special about him, but
Which I think is kind of makes it a little bit more interesting.
yeah,
Because he doesn't have that history, and it's like this normal guy going into the darker aspects of life.
yeah. Well, I'll read the title just to kind of get everybody on the same page idea of what it was. But after killing his daughter's abusive Yakuza boyfriend to save her, ordinary salaryman Tenso Tosu becomes embroiled in the dark criminal underworld. The wish for a simple life he and his wife Kassen had for their daughter has been reduced to a wish for survival. Through the middle-aged and weak, he'll put his life on the line using only his wits in order to protect his family.
Right.
So yeah, it seems like they're definitely like getting inspired by like this Mr. Nobody type aspect, but with the idea that he's just thinking on his feet, trying to respond to the situations, kind of like I was mentioning to you guys before that Showtime show, Your Honor, where because we later find out at the ends, as a spoiler for the first episode, the son, the boyfriend is the son of, I guess, the Yasuku head or something. We haven't.
Some organizer.
Yeah,
Seems
some
high up.
criminal
Yeah.
head. He's been the son of, which they didn't really give an example as to like what the Yazuka are doing. I mean, it seems more like they're just having guys date girls and steal their money, which I feel like would make more sense if like, why are you beating them if you want them to give you your money, because they bring up her like inheritance and everything, which was a little confusing from her grandfather supposedly.
Right.
Why not just make them like, oh, they're all like Playboy J-pop like esque boys, just like swindling them out of their money and then just dumping them. Like, I don't understand where the beat them up.
It's not as scary because the
Yeah.
Yakuza's involved in it, so that's
Yeah,
why
sure.
that's what makes it. Because if
But-
you had like a Justin Bieber person like beat up somebody, then they would just like call the cops.
But
and
that
then
just
end of
shows-
story.
But that's what I'm saying is why beat them up? Like, they
Yeah.
should just be. If they were like pimping her out or anything, that seems more Yakuza oriented to me. It seems like a low level gang that would just be like, yeah, let's just beat them up, or that has like no structural organization.
Right.
Because like, how long can that actually go on?
Yeah.
Of just like beat them up and take their money, beat them up and take their money.
I think like if we went that J-pop route and the boy is more respectful and doesn't beat her, I think that would be more scary if you
Yeah.
think about it. It's like kind of psychotic and unhinged
Exactly.
to have like a
psychological
normal
aspect.
person do that to someone instead of just some guy beating someone up.
Yeah. Like, if we were to rewrite this first episode, be like they both show up to meet her dad at the diner that they're
Yeah,
at.
like that's just so.
And
much-
like he sees like her makeup or something askewed and be like, or if we throw out the whole beating up altogether,
Mhm.
but we see her just like constantly head over heels for this guy and like saying, no, I'll pay for that, no, that, or like, oh wow, them have a bunch of shopping bags and be
Mhm.
like, did you just come from shopping? And it's like, yeah, your daughter was so kind and like doing this.
She doesn't have the inheritance yet, though.
Yes, but like still, she's obviously spending her money to some degree with this original one because he's like, oh, I just got whatever amount of money out of her. But
Mhm.
the idea, if like the father saying like, why is my daughter wasting all this? She should be in school. She should be focused on her studies and everything, or her piano. If they had put in with the original plot some aspect of like, oh, she's trying to become a pianist, and like that she met this guy while like in a club or like
Mm-hmm.
auditioning for something, and he's like obviously trying to like get her into like more things or that, and she fell in love with him and he's like beating her.
Mm-hmm.
That would make more sense to me, but it's just like she she clearly says she's coming back from class later in the episode, so she's in school. She's dating this guy, which is just literally beating her
But I
and
mean,
taking money.
but the other thing is this. I think that we're looking at it from like our point of view, but I think that like if somebody's being physically abused by like someone else, like a partner or something like that, they go into a fear mode and like
No, no, no,
won't like do anything else and just try to appease that person, which
no,
I
no,
think
no.
that he's trying to just strike fear into her.
Yeah, no, no. I'm not.
Take
I'm not
everything.
saying anything that I'm not getting. I'm not getting on the topic of like, oh, she shouldn't act like that. She should have more. I've nothing
No,
about
I'm just
that.
saying for the story, like where they're trying to go with it, they want to like
Yes.
instill that.
No, I
fear.
get that. That's where they're at. Like, obviously, people of abuse and things like that can like fall into fear and not want to leave. But what I'm saying is that they're not as like a structured story with like you're introducing the yakuza that are like known for high level organization of crime and things
Mhm.
like that. This is their plan. This is their
Yeah.
plan of like having guys, because they all made up all the other guys who are like getting money from women
Yeah.
to do that. And it's not even like, I could get it more of like maybe if those guys were dating like cougars and like heiresses. It just doesn't make much sense to be like
Right.
that your target is okay, naive young women, but we're gonna pair them up with these dudes who are like all rough and gruff, which is sure fine, but then we're just gonna have them beat them. It seems it's like the saying, you attract more bees with honey. Like, if they're sweet and kind and playing more on their emotions of being young, innocent, like people, that like, oh, I'm so in love with this person, they would never be harming me, but in the back end of it, like, oh, I'm stealing all of her money, I'm
Mhm.
doing all these things without needing to lift the finger, like she's just head over heels
Yeah.
for me, and then having it be like she goes to the bathroom or something, and then him talk to the father, be like, you need to fuck off or something like
Right.
that serious. That would be a crazier one.
I would agree with you. For the Yakuza, I think it's definitely not a good plan. It's not like thought out. It just doesn't seem like something the Yakuza would
Yeah.
do.
Or maybe
I
we
like,
just don't know the full thing, but in that first
yeah.
episode, it seems
Not
very
much
narrow
explained.
sighted.
Yeah, not
Very
much.
narrow sighted, and
Mhm.
like you're introducing a big criminal organization. Like, if we got to them at some other point, being like, maybe this is a side gang and like a lower level thing, and then the Yakuza show up and being like, we're here to like get in on your like cut, maybe, but immediately introducing them, it just seems very petty and very like, I'm sure to a degree they have some form of honor
Sure.
amongst them that would be slightly more thought out, especially too with this. I don't know who wrote it, but the studio who did produce this is the same studio that did. Oh, I'm looking at last week's one. It is Studio uh, Tenzuka Productions. They've been around for a very long time. They've done things like Blackjack, Adam, the cartoon, the boy robot.
Oh,
Yeah. The upcoming Pluto series on Netflix, that is the prequel to Adam that I sent you the video of. You'll see it when I show you, but they've been doing like a lot of these for a very long time, and it is very visually nice.
Yeah. Visually, it's pretty good. I the story just isn't strong. I feel like the first episode with the revealing of the gang
Mhm.
and them doing a little backstory with like the gang's leader, it just didn't feel deserving of like my care.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't know. Just it's not.
Yeah.
It,
No,
it feels rushed.
yeah.
Like they rushed to get all that information in one episode, and it didn't work well with me.
Not even rushed for me, but more so they're not building a foundation for you to care about. Like,
Yeah.
well, she's obviously got to get away. She's got to do this. Like, she doesn't realize what's going on and everything, and they try and tie that in at the end with like her coming home and the mother like asking her like, oh,
Oh,
what happened
yeah.
to that, which seems very odd that like I thought the father was on a trip like visiting his daughter, and then the mother just shows up casually later with like food to bring her. Like clearly,
I think
she,
she's just at college, like living out on her own.
yeah, but
you know?
clearly she's not that far away. If like
Yeah.
she's
Right.
if they can
They have
both
spare
go
keys.
show up and they both have spare keys and like can check in on her, which maybe at least the point of like they say like, oh, she's in her rebellious age, but you could obviously go and check in on her more often if you
Mhm.
both have keys and you both like live within very close proximity to bring her food.
If they're trying
Another
to give her
thing,
space or
though,
something.
Yeah, which
um,
I guess we'll see more of.
it's interesting. Like, so spoilers.
Yeah, well, that's what
But
we do.
yeah,
We're gonna
like,
spoil the first episode for you on all of this
so
if you
the
haven't realized by now.
the boyfriend's dead, right? And you would have never thought this, but the mom's like, let's pull a Yakuza move and
Yeah.
like do what they do, hide the body. And that was probably the part of the episode I found the most appealing because you wouldn't have expected the mom to think
I
like
feel
that.
like she's gonna have if anything, she's gonna have a darker past.
Yeah,
She's gonna have like
yeah.
some kind of.
Yeah.
My big thing about this, is that I like the animation. I did not
Mhm.
have a problem with that. I thought the
No.
animation was good. I think the voices were okay, not like amazing, but they're okay.
Yeah, well, they're
But-
supposed to add to that goofiness of
Yeah.
like they're just.
I think that's
ordinary
the main
people.
point. Yeah, and
Nah,
I think
voice
they
acting
nailed that.
sucked.
But the most important thing is when will the daughter notice that her rice cooker is
Oh.
because
That's funny.
like when she goes to make dinner one day, and be like, "Where's my rice cooker?"
That is, that is a trope in like both anime and like even a lot of traditional TV series that have these like kill someone and get away with it. There's always that one item that they're
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
where did this go? Or like, I never noticed this crack in like the whatever.
my
where that-
TV shattered. How'd
Exactly.
that happen?
Where'd that come from? So I'm definitely curious if that's gonna be an aha moment. So I think probably what we're gonna see from this in the next couple of episodes. I think the first 4 are up right now. 3 dubbed, 4 subbed. Is that he's gonna get caught or found out because it ends with one of the other henchmen
Mhm.
literally about to walk
Cliffhanger.
in on it, on him and like him trying to get away a knife. Either he's gonna kill him and it's gonna cause a bigger thing, or he's gonna get caught. He's gonna strike some deal with one of the underlings and like have to start working for them or something in order to like keep his daughter safe because like we said the guy he killed is the son of who we
Main
believe the head of everything is, but we don't even really know what's going on with him.
But also another thing to point out is like when he popped out of the closet, punches him right between the
Yeah.
legs. But then like after that point, I think like his adrenaline kicked in because then it cuts to like a montage of like him basically just seeing red.
Yeah.
And like then he's like standing over the body already. He's like, oh my gosh, like what did I do?
I would have liked a little more struggle just to show like that build up the aspect of like he's just a normal guy. He would have like he doesn't know this. He's not like anywhere used to this. Like just some struggle of like him trying to get out from under him more or something in the fight. But it was still well done and designed. And I'm excited to see where it goes.
One aspect that I really liked that I don't know gave a lot of emphasis to like how dark what the character was saying is the scene where the mom says the line like "Let's get rid of it."
Yeah.
Instead of showing her face, it cut to like a red screen with dialogue.
Yeah.
Instead, and I don't know, that was just such an impactful scene for me. Like I don't know how to explain it. It just gave more emphasis on how dark that is instead of just showing it in the animation.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, like I said, this studio is pretty big. They've done things for like almost 100 years, I want to say. From how old some of their
It can't be. The world's not even 100 years old.
that's for another podcast, Chris. But
Oh right, my
they also I forget
Scientology.
what the name of it is, but if you've ever seen people say like Lion King, they bring it up shot for shot against that anime with that white lion, and like show that The Lion King is pretty much ripped off from like this other series from like I forget what it is, but they're the ones responsible for that. If I'll show it to you guys later, you'll probably remember what it. And be like, oh shit! But I mean, good series, great studio behind it. I'm sure it'll be like more darker as we go along and a little more structured in the
Right.
organization that they're up against. When we go on, but I liked it.
I enjoyed it. I don't think it's got me captivated to be like wanting to watch
Mhm.
more of it. It leaves me a lot of questions that are unanswered that you would have to watch the anime more to be able to figure out. But more, I felt more confused a lot of the time with this episode. But like I said, I did enjoy the visuals, the actual animation style that they did. I think they nailed that.
Well, what do you rate it?
Out of 10,
Out
Out
of
of
10.
10, 20, 30,
give it a 6.
We'll figure out a real rating system next episode.
I give it a 6 total overall, a
6?
6, just because I feel like it could have some potential. But as it sits right now, for me personally, it would be a 6.
6, Chris.
I'm in the middle, so
Middle of what? 0 and 6.
5. 0 and 10.
Oh, 0. Okay, 5.
Math. That's how it works.
Well, you said 6, so I thought he was piggyback off of that. Yeah, I'd say it's a 6. A 7 for the animation. So maybe a 6.5. The My Anime list gave it a 6.98. So you guys aren't too far off on that. And Crunchyroll gave it a 4.7.
Ooh,
Closer to mine.
that's
Yeah.
a big steep drop, though.
That's-
Wow.
Well, they're out of 5. So they
Oh,
actually
okay.
rated it higher.
Oh yeah, so it's
Then-
not closer to mine.
Yeah,
Never
no,
mind.
they that's actually more people on Crunchyroll gave it a higher rating.
Of course it would.
Overall.
Crunchyroll users just love every anime. They
Yeah.
never rate anything below 4.
I mean,
Oh, some of those reviews we had last time, though. Oh
yeah,
my
the review on these. Let me see the comments. First one up from 2 weeks ago. No question. The mom is ride or die. Gotta respect that. Again. All right. Well, diving into the next one, we have that we watched. Let's see here. Oh, A Galaxy Next Door. A very interesting
Slice of life.
slice of life with a twist, a lemon twist on
Should,
top.
should we read the description first?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna read that. After his father's death, Ichiro is left to care for his siblings alone. They're barely scraping by with only a small inheritance and his job as a mangaist artist, which isn't going so great. That is until a talented and beautiful assistant is hired. Her name is Shirori, and she's a gift from above, literally. While working late one night, her true identity is revealed, and they're instantly engaged.
Yawn. That's all I
Ah.
have to say.
I can say this is what I want to say about it. So I do like watching Slice of Life. I think John feels the same way. Chris just as much. And
Yeah, Chris more so than the two of us combined.
but like I was very drawn in about the story, and I was like, you know, this looks good. Just you see the struggle of a family and the family life of like I guess their social What did they call
Yeah,
it?
it's
Like
a social apartment.
like a social apartment, and kind of how they all
Think
help each other, and
like
their cousins
hostel.
there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a hostel, and like I'm sure we're gonna get to know the other residents there because they all are very cleanly designed out.
They said one of them's like a social worker.
Yeah,
But
and
like
his cousin is there.
it was a good build up. Like I felt like they had a good understanding of like the story of what's happened and the struggles that they're going through, and how they introduced the princess at least coming into it. I was like, oh, like this looks like just like a romantic, like they're gonna fall for each other. It's gonna be adorable, whatever.
So yeah, I thought at the beginning this is in let me know if you agree the same way. This is Mary Poppins.
Never watched Mary Poppins.
Shut up. You've watched
I'm
Mary
dead
Poppins.
serious.
No.
I don't
Never
thi-
watched
I
Mary
don't think so.
Poppins.
No, because that's about
No,
it's just
no,
about the children.
But listen. Struggling father with work, aka the brother with his job, only one to take care of them because the mother is gone. Which in this one, yeah, the father's dead, but the mother wasn't in this one.
Yes,
She
The
just
mother,
abandoned her.
yes, the
he
mother
was
abandoned
on
him.
the
new
phone.
life now.
But
Yeah,
yes, only one
I may be
parental,
your mother.
only
but-
one parental figure. Um, two children that are like kind of taking care of themselves, but obviously need more.
Cousins help. and
Yeah, some things like
the
that.
apartments help. I can
And
tell.
then a mysterious lady who's too good to like pass up for hired for help shows up, and in turn is able to do things curiously fast and efficient, and is dressed like Mary Poppins in a long black dress, just no hat. All she needed was a magical bag, but she has a rolling briefcase with her. So who knows what's in there in the second one? This is manga version.
And she
Mary
had an
Poppins.
umbrella.
She did. Yeah, you said you don't
I
watch.
know
Mary
who Mary Poppins is, but I never
Okay.
watched it. You know, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Yes.
Of course.
And clearly
Can you
she
say that again and
has,
look into the camera for us.
jumping to the end, she has some abilities that are not human.
Basically, she's a bee with a magic stinger.
But I will point out this: they do explain in detail, though, like why she's so good at like the
Yeah.
outlining, the highlighting. She actually practiced that.
Yeah, she read
For a while. And the whole
learned how to draw a book.
yeah, and she like studied it really hard. And I mean, at least it was helpful there. You
Well,
know,
yeah,
and
well-
they had me all the way up until they had to stay up overnight
Yeah.
to finish a
So
deadline for the
so
assignment.
he hires this girl based on his editor's recommendation that she's new to town and everything, and they go and meet, brings her back. She helps edit and fill in as quick as possible for all the scenes and paperwork, and she reveals that she's been only drawing manga for the last year, I think.
Tracing, not even
Yeah,
drawing,
tracing, yeah.
tracing.
And learning for the last year because of her grandmother's collection that she had.
It's the only one that had access to it.
Yes. On this little island, which at the very beginning, she's like leaving on a boat by herself.
A small boat, too. Like
Yes.
a dinghy. It was so tiny.
While her family's like overlooking her on the water. But
Grandmother passed though, definitely it looks like, because they're
Yeah.
like holding a frame and the picture and everything.
yeah, but so she helps him finish the manuscript, and then after an all night session, and then what happens? He thinks she rolled over on one of the tools and got
A
stabbed.
G pen.
Yeah. And then goes to touch it, and bam, is teleported to outer space or
Another
Well,
something.
blood
Like that.
comes out of his finger too.
Yeah.
Kinda
Well,
like
that was more of a pact seal because now they're engaged. Because surprise, surprise, she's not human, or whatever the definition of human is in this universe that it's created. And she's a princess who wanted to leave wherever she came from because she doesn't want to get engaged to whoever it was. And his manga, which was one of the books in her grandmother's collection, inspired her to go find real love and romance, which coincidentally is going to be with him, I'm guessing.
This is the one thing I want to point out is that when this happened, he goes to this weird galaxy universe and then comes back. She explains that it's like her stinger and that
Yeah.
he shouldn't have did that. And all he says is like, "I'm sorry, I just thought you rolled over on this pen," and then draws like the pen, and then just goes over the fact that like you have a stinger, like, or you're
Yeah.
from this, like, it doesn't
Yeah.
ask any further
Yeah, oh.
questions upon that. But that's he wanted to like more or less like explain what he was doing.
Yes, apologize for his rudeness and
If
touching her.
anything, I
Without,
think she's the rude one for not being upfront about, hey, I'm an alien.
that's true. Well, to her defense, she did say, "Would you like me to tell you more about myself?" I don't think she's trying to hide anything.
Oh,
It's not
true.
like she's a hidden
Yeah, I
one.
He
guess-
just didn't get to it yet. This is literally
Yeah,
day 2 of
he
working together.
honestly was more interested about his work and getting it done on time, and not necessarily about who he was actually hiring.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
good
was
point.
bad boss right there.
But the portfolio, everything looked great.
They
All
didn't
the
even.
line work.
He slept. I don't think he's gonna turn it in on time.
Oh yeah, that's that's a good point.
I will say this: they woke up when he hit the ground. He woke up. They showed the clock. It looked like
Yeah.
it was like 6:10. It was only for a
But
couple.
he
minutes.
fell asleep
Okay.
at 6, and then he
Yeah.
woke up. I think it was 6:15 or 6:10.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they're missing the trope, but maybe that's where it's gonna start in the next episode, where it's like, fuck, I gotta go deliver this. Fuck, fuck.
manuscript. Oh, I'm so distracted.
That is
How's that voice go again?
typical trope, having them be a mangaist and like always running late for a deadline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how successful he's going to be, and maybe he should just focus on getting a different type of job, because he clearly brings that up of like, I debuted out of high school, but it didn't go that well.
Yeah.
So now I gotta just try harder and earn money for my
You
siblings.
gotta follow your your dreams. That's what you
But
want to
sometimes if your dreams aren't working out, you gotta have options.
Yeah.
Be realistic. But when do you crush your own dreams, or when do you crush someone else's dreams?
When you know that your work is not doing well.
Some say when you quit, that's when you honestly fail. Keep going, Chris.
But you
I
need
think
to fail
the
in order to be successful.
Yeah, so when you give up, then that's
I think the
But you're
book
not giving up.
sales will be the
Just
deciding
finding
factor of
something
that.
So I think we need to have another podcast about failure. And
special bonus episode with Chris and I. John's
Um,
mediating.
Yep.
yeah, back to which one was this one?
The Galaxy Next Door. A Galaxy Next
Yeah.
Door, which I'm guessing they're referring to as she's just going to be the next room over to him.
Yeah,
in
and
there.
she's his whole galaxy.
Yeah, well, they're engaged.
Well, listen, I'm just gonna say,
Mhm.
I can tolerate slice of life. I think it's fine, but I'm definitely it's something that I wouldn't turn on myself unless someone or something says this is by far one of the best anime
Mhm.
to ever be released. So for me, this show was not that interesting. I don't really care about their love story and
Their engagement.
which just came out of the blue. Like it
Mhm.
honestly came out of
Well,
nowhere.
I'm going to call back to one of our previous episodes. I think it was even last time we were here at Gamers Heaven. You said the opposite. That you said, I can only tolerate slice of life if it has something else going on, some sort of action or some sort of that.
Yeah,
that's
sure,
why I
sure,
like.
I
That's
think it was
That's the
because
only
it
reason why
was
I watched
Tomo-chan.
Tomo-chan. You said.
Yep, that is 100% it.
Hold on, I don't remember saying
You.
We'll have to
the
rewind
only
it.
reason why I watched Tomo-chan is because I had no choice.
You watched the whole thing though.
What do you want me to do?
We watched it on our own. You watched it on your own.
Didn't we watch it here?
Not the whole thing.
Yeah, just the first episode.
But then
Did we
you-
watch episode 2?
No, we all watched on our own.
I
and so did
never
you.
watched that show again.
It was a great show, Chris. Wow.
Number 7 on the
I-
for 3 weeks.
Listen, I don't watch anime for slice of life. I don't watch anime for romance, and I especially don't watch anime for isekai and fan service. Okay, I watch anime to see cool ninjas or pirates or Vikings do cool fight scenes with swords,
Yeah.
and sometimes have some difficult times that make me feel like I want to cry, but ultimately progress in their life and reach their dreams and goals, and it's a happy ending.
Well, Chris, I apologize, and you're right about that. Which is, I guess we'll give our ratings in a second. But why you picked the last one for what it was?
The last
because
one was by
I think that hits
absolute
every
chance.
check on the
Painful.
box that you just said,
Oh no, the
and more.
And
absolutely.
Just to let everyone
horrible.
listening know, we had Chris pick a number 1 through 2.
So we
Won
were
that
originally gonna.
and a coin flip and won that, so he won both of them.
Yeah,
and
well, I
this
was
is
more
what it
so
got.
just having you both pick one, and then I was gonna flip a coin for it. But yes, we originally were gonna watch for our third one, Oshinoko.
Oshinoko.
But that is on High Dive as an exclusive, which is, as we were saying at the beginning, is not available on most console apps, which are here at Gamers Heaven. Only on
Mhm.
Xbox, which wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us brought our computers with us to just stream it off of there. So we switched it over to, I think, Chris's new favorite, My One Hit Kill Sister, which we will dive right into after we give these ratings for A Galaxy Next Door. So, Chris, despite the many, many flaws with
I'll try to give it an objective rating
Yes.
that doesn't reflect my own
Yes,
personal.
exactly. As a as a animation series and story.
For someone who is interested in slice of life and romances, I'll give this a 7. But
Okay.
for my personal, I'm gonna give this a 3.
Okay.
Steep. I can go next.
Yeah.
So I would say I did like the animation style. I thought it was very clean. Um, everything was very vibrant, popping with color, especially when he ran out into the park to meet her. Really
Mhm.
cool. I was like, wow. I was like, this is really drawn well. I would say it lost me once the singer came. It really came out of nowhere. We all gasped kind of when that happened and were confused. But I I seriously give this maybe a 5 overall.
5. Okay. I'm gonna give it a 6. It was good. Another 6.5. I'll say these last two were 6.5. They weren't terrible, but they definitely need to work on the story. Both really great animation. Um, on my anime list, they gave it 7.15. So Chris, you were right on there being objective. On Crunchyroll though, they gave it a 4.8. So that's higher than My Home Hero. Um, the studio that made this called Asahi Production. They made one of the Pretty Cure series, another series that I've seen called Heavenly Design Team, and Izetta the Last Witch. So they have quite a bit of things
The
under
Last Witch?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Haven't heard of it.
But yeah, it's definitely they have a long list of slice of life that they've done. So I'm sure that they know what they're doing and
Sure.
going on with it. But yeah, it's I like it. I'd like to know more about where she's from and everything from there before I start moving on and
Well, I
killing it
also
off
want to
list.
say about Slice of Life. I thought Slice of Life was supposed to be like real life and not
I think it has
have elements of
it needs to
fantasy.
have. I think it's like a fictional slice of life or whatever you call it. There are other overlapping things in
Yeah,
fantasy.
okay, you're right.
The main core genre would be slice
Sure,
of
yeah,
life
it's
because
broad.
it's
I
just
got
going
it.
to be them drawing manga and like her becoming closer to him now that they're
Mhm.
engaged and stuff like that. So
All right.
life aspects. I don't think it has to be normal life, but life aspect.
Now let's get to the
Chris's favorite. I know we're running down on the clock and he wants
Yeah,
to
honestly,
spend all the time
I
talking.
don't think we even need to spend that much time talking about this one.
You don't think we need to spend all the time talking about my one hit kill
No,
sister?
please read the synopsis.
All right. Let's see here. Pull it up on Crunchyroll since we had to watch.
I need to know what this was reviewed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm interested in. And you know what? It's probably going to be rated really high. Listen, if you are nervous about people walking in your bedroom and you're watching anime and you don't want them to see the weird stuff, do not watch this one. Do not suggest this to your friends if you're trying to get them into anime because the animation's actually really good, but the
Very
events that
cinematic.
happen in the show is really uncomfortable.
All right. Well, the the synopsis for this. Asashi loves the idea of magical fantasy worlds, and somehow he's transported to one. He's eager to explore and use his new abilities, except he learns he doesn't have any. But his older sister Maya is in this world too, and she ends up having the strongest cheat skill imaginable. Now Asashi starts his new life with a doting sister who can kill any beast with one hit.
Oh, they left out a part. They're
What is
like
it?
in love.
I
Or
would say
something.
she is infatuated with him.
Yes, I wouldn't even say it's love. Like there are other weird effed up manga animes that are like siblings in love that just make no sense in
Mhm.
very early 2000s. Like there's that vampire one called I think it's a Vampire Night. If you haven't watched that, and maybe we'll watch it.
Not if
The-
you're
No,
comparing
thank
it
you.
No,
to
no,
this.
Yeah, no,
no.
thank
No,
Absolutely not.
the ending is just very strange. Think of like Twilight, but it's
Chris hasn't seen
somehow
Twilight.
it's her grandfather and her like it's weird. It's weird, but the fighting is phenomenal in it. But yeah, getting back to this, I would say that it's a weird infatuation with it. It's like a sibling complex or a bro complex with her just
there
being.
was another series that we watched that had that like trait in it where there was a sibling and there was some kind of weird.
Oh yeah, which one was
I
that?
forget what it was, but I remember like watching it and thinking that's kind of weird. And I like thought I don't want to watch anything like that, and here we
There-
are today.
There were so many cringe moments
Yeah.
in this episode where we physically cringed. Like Chris sat up, face
Yeah.
bombed. I was just like, this is to bring up a menu
We'll
screen.
we'll throw a silent clip up here
Yeah.
of what was going
To
on.
bring up the status screen, he just kind of put his hands up and said status, and it came up. And then he's like, "Let me see yours." And she grabs his hand and puts it on her boob, and I'm like, "What in the world is
Yeah.
going on?"
Yeah. You know, hoping that they come to the realization and say like, oh, they're step siblings the whole time.
I don't think they are. I
Either
feel
way,
like they
it's
would have said
creepy.
it by now.
But they look very different. She
But
has
the
bright
fact
red hair.
that they're making us even debate what's like happening is just
Or
not
maybe
cool.
it's that thing where like they're actually they'll reveal they're actually neighbors, and she's just because she's older, he's always called her big sis.
Sure. I get it.
But we would have to watch
the
another
fact
episode
is,
to find
the
out.
first whole episode gave no indication that they are not related. You know, so we
Yeah.
are here left to believe we are seeing an older sister.
Take
Dude,
advantage of her brother.
It's just not.
Sexually assault her.
It's super
Yeah.
uncomfortable. I don't see
Possibly
the appeal.
biological brother.
There's a lot of fan service.
Yeah.
But for
But
I
those
don't know
fight
what
scenes,
fans
bro.
are they servicing. I'm not their fan. Don't service me like this. I hate it. This show absolutely
How would you like
made
to be
me
serviced,
angry.
Chris?
With ninjas like Naruto.
I mean, she was flying through the air with
No,
and,
she-
The
like,
fight scene
she's
in the
lame.
beginning against the three.
Oh, also,
ogres
I don't
was-
like how she's super OP. Like no training, she just is.
well, that's
I think-
literally every
I think 'cause
isekai.
He summoned her though, and like
Yeah.
she's the older big sister that always will protect him. So of course she's gonna be.
Yeah.
an
But
actual
that's literally the building block of every isekai is you get born into another world and you're either the hero, you're OP, you have some hidden skill, you're the chosen one, all of that.
Well,
That's
this
the
is why
building
I don't
block
like
of an
that
isekai.
genre because they're not doing anything different, and it's just not, it
Except,
just
I
feels
mean-
like every isekai I watch is clumped into one. Like
Well,
it all feels the same.
That's what's hot, and that's what's been hot for the last couple of years.
You know,
and
Super
what'll
Mario
continue to-
Brothers is a isekai.
Technically,
Yes.
but he's still alive.
That's true.
But I guess
Well, as far as you know, I mean, when they fell down that pipe, they could have died.
That's true.
you know what. I'm just gonna give my rating for this one. Like I said, it has really good animation. It's
Yeah.
like it looks drawn, like hand drawn with colored pencils or something.
Yeah, surprisingly,
choppy.
before you give your review, the studio who made this is called Studio Geku. They don't have any other credits to their name,
Oh wow,
so
that's
I think it's a
interesting.
new studio. They do have though another anime coming up in the spring, which looks like it is a slice of life called Temple.
We should watch it.
Yeah,
Nope.
well, I mean, we will when the summer
Nope.
comes around. But yeah, so it's surprising to see a studio with really good animation just come out and help produce something like this. Although I think it is, we're seeing a lot of this spring's genre feel like a lot of early 2000s anime, which were like super detailed, super action oriented, and then just absurd in some way.
Right.
It seems like that is coming back into play a lot with a lot of these. Definitely a lot less cringe than The Legendary Hero is Dead. Like
Mhm.
that was cringe and funny.
Well, I mean, this one was.
What would you, if you were strapped down and had to watch one of the two?
The
Which do you think?
Legendary Hero
Yeah,
is dead
exactly.
because it doesn't have like incest. but-
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
it's less cringy
Okay.
than this.
I thought you were saying the other one, like
No,
vice
no,
versa.
no.
All right.
Yeah. But
Jeez.
the My Anime List gave it a 6
Of
rating,
course. Of course
and on Crunchyroll they gave it
5.
a 4. So it's one of the only ones,
lower,
yeah, ranked lower.
Oh, still 4. Wow.
Surprisingly. Let's see what some of these comments say here. The very first comment from a month ago says, I mean, do the people who write this stuff even have siblings? And then someone said, this is the daughter spinoff of Mother with a 2-hit combo. I do agree with that. If you have not watched that series,
Is it really a spinoff?
no, it's not a spinoff, but they're saying because there are a lot of similarity crossovers to that. And you've probably seen GIFs and memes of it around. That is a just as strange one of this.
Listen, I'm not even gonna watch it. If it's anything similar to this, you could bet your life I'm not watching it.
Let's see, and then yeah, I get the feeling she's not. A lot of people are saying I get the feeling she's not really there, and it's him doing all the things. No, they do show she is there. She is in that world.
Bashes her head
For her love for her brother, they realize. I guess you could say this is a spoofed version of Sword Art Online, because a male and female protagonists in a coma, clearly still alive, but in another magical world that they don't know how to escape, but they're trying to escape with an incest twist. Because he is in a coma after getting hit. It is revealed he's not fully dead, just in a coma, and her love for her brother causes her to continuously bash her head into the wall.
I don't think she's dead either.
No, yeah, they're both probably going to be in the hospital
comatose.
beds right next to each other, comatose, as they both try and figure out how to get out of the world that they've been sent to.
I just want to forget about this series.
Well,
And we ended on that one, which is like
I know
Yeah.
it was a last minute switch up, just because we couldn't get High Dive on here. I think we'll have to do for Oshinoku. Maybe we'll just do one whole episode on it, and we'll watch. I think there's 5 episodes out. Let's just watch them all, just talk about it, because that is supposed to be the biggest series of the spring.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
So yeah, we'll have to get that. But Chris, I know this checked off every box that you talked about. Action, animation, ninjas. Just
No
magic.
ninjas.
She's technically a ninja.
Nah,
Yes,
she's not. She's
flipping around martial arts. She
0.
definitely threw something. At
0
some
out of
point.
10. I did not enjoy this one bit, except for the animation, which probably gets a 9. The animation is great, but everything else 0.
I'll give it a 5. Purely animation. If you were to drop and somewhat of the story, it definitely felt like I was watching in double speed. For the first 10 minutes of it. I don't know if that's how it was filmed to just get through it, but definitely not a family friendly one to watch. So unless you're the biggest of weebs, you'll probably want to skip this one.
I agree with Chris on this one. The animation was very, very well done. I don't even want to give it a number. I'd say 3 overall.
Have
honestly,
to be impartial.
Animation was good. Story cringy. I never want to watch this again. I was uncomfortable watching this. I was like, wow. Just like you were saying, Chris, if somebody walks in and the manager comes in, what are you guys watching?
Yeah, I do not want to be caught watching this.
We definitely all audibly gasped at a number
I said
of spots.
WTF multiple times.
Chris sat up.
I was not having it. I almost said turn this off. I was done.
You at one point did say, I'm done with this.
Yeah, this is just not something I want to watch, and that not something I want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, we'll end it on that, right on the dot, before we get kicked out of the theater at Gamer 7, because they've got another group coming in. But yeah, one day we'll meet Andrew. One day.
One day he'll acknowledge our podcast and be like
an episode, I think. But yeah, I mean, another 3 down of the spring season. We've got a couple more. We'll try and figure out when we'll record Oshinoku and get that in there, because that's definitely a must do for everything going on with that. But anything you guys want to throw out there? Any news? Any things? We're waiting to hear back from Otakon. So if anybody at Otakon is listening to this, we do post in their Discord when we post a new episode out. But we're on the list for panels. If you want to give us one, we've got.
Really, I'm on the list for panels. I applied. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I applied to do a panel at Otakon for the great Junji Ito. So hopefully that gets accepted. If not, then I'll just be having a great time at Otakon.
Content. Sai, got anything you want to discuss? Anything on your plate?
Some more shorts coming up with a few more builds, so stay tuned for that on our socials.
Lego Rivendell at some point.
Yes, that is to be decided when we can record that. We got to find a day. So, but yes, we'll post that out as well.
Enjoy this review. We've got more coming. We'll try and get these out to you as quick as possible. I hope you like the new name Anumai and the cover art for this. Let us know what you think in the comments of these animes and which one you like the most. I'm sure it was a very difficult decision, but with that, signing off. Team Umai here.
Bye.
We'll be back again.
With the Enumai podcast.
Bye.
Anumai.